Good evening, gentlemen, and welcome to this weekend's quite early preview, but I'm not going to get any chance to do it, so yeah, we'll do it now. I've pissed off the cat by coming upstairs and sitting there. She's not fucking happy, so expect my feet to get attacked in moments. Right, so there's a bit of nipple for you, by the way. This weekend we have the matchups, should I say. We've got STP versus Sané Mané, Chudley Cannons versus Piqué and De Bruyne, Scranton Stranglers versus the Bukkake Jackies, and Atletico versus Colo. So we'll just head straight into game one. We've got STP versus Sané Mané. Looking at the two defences, I'd have to say STP's probably got the better defence. He's got defenders playing the weaker teams in the league, so should maybe get a couple of clean sheets there. I mean, Sané Mané's defence is okay, but he's hoping for an Arsenal result and a clean sheet. Alderweireld should do well against Man United, however, because Man United are dog shit, and will be until Mourinho goes. It's going to be the theme throughout this preview, guys, so sorry if any of you are Man United fans, but you're going to get some stick. STP's midfield, strong again. I mean, Shaqiri might not play. Burnley are no pushovers. Berg Goodmanson for Burnley and Sané Mané should do well against Fulham. I mean, Fulham aren't a bad side. They've bought some good players coming up, so it could be a tight game there. Mkhitaryan, he could do bits against West Ham. You know, West Ham aren't playing very well, very shaky defensively, so there could be a few chances in there. Sigurdsson might struggle against Burnley, however, you know, it's Everton, Bournemouth. Is it Bournemouth? Yeah, no, sorry, they're playing Bournemouth, aren't they, not Burnley. I've just said Burnley. So yeah, if we go to the forwards of the two teams, Aguero in form, you know, he could get a couple more goals, but obviously he's got two Everton forwards for the other two, and again I think Bournemouth's going to be a strong side for them to come up against. Sané Mané, however, Aubameyang could do well against West Ham. It just depends if they turn up. They've scored twice against Chelsea, so you know, again they've got a shaky defence, West Ham, so could be a few goals in there. Sterling could potentially do some damage against Wolves with his pace. And again, Senik Tosin, is that how you say his name? Versus Bournemouth, again it could be a hard test. I can't look past STP for this one, but you know, you never know, we could be surprised. So that's the first game. I've got that down as an STP win. Second, I've wrote these on fucking backs of envelopes and shit, so you'll have to bear with us. Chudley versus Piqué and De Bruyne. Myself, bottom of the league clash. So we'll go for Chudley first with the defence. He's got a good defence. He's got Liverpool player versus Brighton. I haven't wrote the players down because, you know, I'm in a rush. Tottenham against Man U and Everton versus Bournemouth. So you could be looking at least 2 clean sheets in there. Few points. Obviously myself, I've made some changes. Chilwell to do well against Southampton, continue his form. I think Leicester should have that game. Hopefully they can clean a keep sheet. A clean sheet. Jose from Watford to keep a clean sheet against Palace, I would hope. Again though, anything can happen in that game. And I think Vertonghen will keep a clean sheet against United, so, you know, Piqué and De Bruyne making some changes. Right, for the midfielders, obviously he's got David Silva. No, he hasn't got David Silva. Bernardo Silva to do well against Wolves. Have I wrote? Yeah, that's the one. Ramsey against West Ham, again, shaky defence. There's just a trend here of players from which clubs we've got. So yeah, I think Ramsey should have a good game. Obviously he's always got a goal in him. Rocket from outside the box, you know. And Schürrle's a good player for Fulham. They've made some good signings. And Townsend, obviously, he could be a threat if he can get going. He's a bit hitty-missy. For peaking De Bruyne's midfield, we have Decore and Pereira. And I think Watford will get the result against Palace. And I think those two, they've got us some points so far, just not enough. Hopefully this could be the game where it picks up and we get a few points from Watford players. Kante will run the show versus Toon. Toon not playing well. And Ward-Prowse has got a tough game against Leicester, but, you know, you win some, you lose some. So if we go into the forwards, Chudley has Manny and Firmino, and no disrespect to Brighton, but they need to be getting goals in that game. Ings, though, may struggle against Leicester, as I've said before. I have Troy Deeney, and I think he could be in for a good game versus Palace, should he play. Mooney could do well against Cardiff, because Cardiff are also another poor side in the league. Wilson may have a tough time against the Everton defence. Obviously, I've done these on the start 11s that are available to us now. All subject to change by the weekend, of course. But yeah, so if I had to go with someone, everyone says back yourself, but I think Chudley will probably run away with this one. So, yeah, I'll be bottom of the league again, more than likely. Next game, we have Atletico versus Colo. Defence, right. Alonso, really good player. Obviously, they were against Newcastle, so clean sheet probably. And, you know, he can pop up with a goal. Ex-Sunderland lad. Loves to score. Alright, and the rest of them, we've got Robertson and Van Dijk. And I think you'd like to think they're going to get a clean sheet against the Brighton. And then obviously we've got John Stones versus Wolves. And I think obviously, City have conceded. They've played well, but they have conceded. But again, may get another clean sheet there. Colo has Mendy and Laporte from City, so if City do keep a clean sheet, there's points there. Again, Luke Shaw for Man U. I think Tottenham are going to hammer them, so I don't think there's any points to be had there for clean sheets anyway. If we go over to midfield, Kovacic, if he starts, he can also do well against a weak Newcastle side. Maddison for Leicester's been playing really well. I expect him to continue that form. And Fernandinho, obviously defensive mid, not much of a point scorer, but again, if City dominate and win, then yeah, there's points there. For Colo's midfield, Ozil's on a poor run of form. He's lost his head because of all this shit that's happened to the German team. Pogba again, I can see Man United struggling. It's just I don't think Man U are going to play well this season until they get rid of Mourinho, because it's just negative tactics, and well, they just haven't been playing well. Let's have a look. Who else has he got? We've got Fraser versus Everton. Ryan Fraser from Bournemouth, I believe. And again, as I said before, might struggle against the Everton side, but obviously it's football. Anything can happen. And Keita, obviously for Liverpool, he could pick up some points if Liverpool run right in their game. Right, forwards. Hazard, you'd expect him, if he starts this game, he's been coming off from the bench, hasn't he? So you expect him and Willian to get some points against Newcastle, as I've said before. And obviously Lukaku may struggle against Spurs. If we go to the other side, back to Colo, his forwards. Sané may not start. It's obviously the Man City have so much depth, and they're not... you just don't know who's going to start in the City team, so... obviously he's got points in him, but it's if he plays. Joshua King versus Everton. Again, I've said it, you know, you can see where I'm going with this one. Going to struggle against Everton. Possibly. Anything can happen. And he's got Zaha. He could be a threat versus Watford. You know, he's not a bad player, but I would expect Watford to beat Palace quite comfortably as well. So, for this game, I'd probably have to go for... I'd say Atletico might win this one. So, yeah, good luck. You've probably been kissed by the kiss of death, because my predictions are never right. That's why I never win a bet. So, the entire opposite is probably going to happen in this game. And on to the final game we're covering, the Stratton Stranglers. Obviously first in the league against the Bukkake Jackies. If we go on the defence, the Scranton Stranglers, they've got quite a thin defence actually. I think I noticed they only had 2 available defenders, Coleman and Pereira. I can't say his thing. Again though, they could get some points if the teams play well. All 3 defenders from Bukaki Jackie. Obviously I've just rushed this, so I didn't write them down. But there's potentially a clean sheet in there. Apparently that's what I have wrote down, so you know. What's that, 24 points from defenders at least if they get clean sheets. So there we go. Not bad. If we go back to Scranton for the midfielders, Ali, David Silva and James Milner, they'll all play well against the weaker team, or you'd hope they'd play well against the weaker teams in the league and bag some points. Matter, Man U, shite. Midfield for Bukaki Jackies. Again, he could struggle to get going versus Burnley, because Burnley are a good side these days. Gray's pace is always going to cause some problems against Southampton. I think he started the last 2, Gray. I think, or did he come off the bench for one of them? I'm not sure, but yeah, I think he'll do well against Southampton. Moura to do well against Man U and see him getting a goal. Moura anytime goal scorer, Tottenham 3-0. That's my tip for the weekend. It's not going to happen, don't put it on, lads. And Mahrez, again, if he plays against City, they've got so many attacking players, he could get some points should he play. Forwards. Alright, Scranton, obviously Salah, you'd expect him to get a few against Brighton. Pedro's got a good chance of getting some points against Newcastle. And Sanchez, I haven't heard word on his undisclosed injury. If he plays, he might struggle against Spurs. However, I'm sure he's off to China. That's why I've offloaded him. Undisclosed injury just before a game. That just rings bells to me. Now, if we go at the other team, obviously Jackies, led by Spartacus. If Jesus and Aguero are up top again, you've got to see goals in them, and they're forming a good partnership, I think. So yeah, there's definitely going to be points there. They're going to pick up where they left off. Kane's broke his duck for the August, so you can expect him to score against Man U, I would say. And obviously Mitrovic may struggle against a good Burnley side. So if I had to look at this game, I think Scranton's forwards are just going to take him. Well, at least Salah and Pedro are going to take him over the line and probably continue his reign at the top. That's what I would have to say. Well, anyway, gents, it's been a pleasure. This is a long fucking video. So there's another nipple. It's probably been out most of the time, but there you go. Enjoy and good luck for the weekend, boys. And my next video is going to be me eating some really hot chilies.